I think that this organization is just outstanding in terms of the medical care, the social work services, the food pantry, to be sure. All in all, I think it's an excellent organization, and I've never been tempted to go someplace else.
Yeah, I think, the work that I do here, involves packing food into bags, or it involves deconstructing boxes, or putting food into vehicles that's going to be carried around to people around this neighborhood, or around in the adjacent area. I think it's important because it takes time. I think that's the one thing that I recognize, is that it doesn't just happen magically. The food doesn't just automatically magically get put into a bag that then gets carried out. Someone needs to do the work of transferring it from a box into the bag that's going to go. So I feel like I'm part of a bigger chain of events that's going on. Even if I'm a small cog in the machine of putting one can into one bag, I think it's important to recognize the time and effort that it takes to do that.
I think, we've all been in places in our lives where we needed help, and I think it's important when you're not in those places in your life to give back to the people who probably helped you. And I think if you've never been in a circumstance where you needed to ask for help, then coming here will really humble you, and that's really important too.
Especially in this day and age, we understand a lot more the importance of interacting with our fellow human beings and trying to be of service to them. And also, I think the volunteers learn a great deal as well. Working here, you learn a lot about human nature, you learn a lot about nonprofit organizations. But most of all, I think it's a sense of working with the people who are serviced right for the city, and feeling that you're making some kind of a contribution to the community.
It's important for people to volunteer because I think it's an acknowledgement of one's own privilege, and then the importance of giving back. I think is just personally important. I think it recognizes, it's an acknowledgement of one's own privilege, but also of the needs of others, and kind of the greater good, if you could call it that.
This is the largest scale anything I've ever done. I'm from Massachusetts, and I worked at a food pantry in Western Mass, which is incredibly rural. And this is I cannot imagine how many people, I don't know how many people you guys feed, but based on what we just did just now, that's insane. So I would say the amount of organization that must go into this, and how much you guys have to make sure everything is going smoothly, is 10 times more than anywhere else I've ever been.